Welcome back to Topic Talk. It is time to talk about some topics. And this topic this time around is, you guessed it, Supernova. Yeah, oh, wait. Supernova. There we go. We're in Supernova. That's where I just came back from. It was a great tournament. If you don't know what Supernova is, it's on their 10th year. For the first 8 years, it was called SmashCon. And then I guess Nintendo was like, we've had enough. And so they forced us to change the name. We have a couple things to talk about. So the first thing I saw, obviously, was the Onin situation with the booing. Second thing I saw was Fabs versus Scabs bars. And then the third thing I saw was just what I was doing there. So let's talk about what I was doing there. So yeah, first things first. Let's just talk about what I was doing there before we get into everything else. I was just at Supernova as a commentator, but I did a bunch of other stuff throughout the day too. So I had one block of Ultimate on Friday. I had a block of Rivals on Saturday, and then I did top 4, obviously, with the Blast Zone. Participate in the Smashies, won a Smashie again. It's my 6th Smashie, but it's the second one I've taken home. In fact, let me go get them. Hold on. 6-time Smashie Award winner. We keep 2 in the house. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. And this one is for the decade. Best commentator moment from 2015 to 2025. You niggas will never be me. Anyway. Anyway, I'm about to be sitting here like Has the whole time. Just yeah. So anyway, as we were talking, like me, famed, renowned commentator. All things, all things, jokes aside, it was a great time, and I'm glad that we get a little recognition here. Now, outside of that, I helped Coney with the Coney Fest. I ran karaoke, and I also helped EE with his talent show. So I just did a lot. Like, I think the thing is, like, if I'm going to be at the event, I want to make sure I'm getting blown up. I want to make sure there's a lot of stuff for me to do, because I don't really like, sit and play friendlies or anything like that. Because I just haven't played Ultimate in a while. And normally, I feel like every time I go back to sit down and play friendlies, it's nobody I want to play. It's always like, all the people who want to play friendlies now are like Steve players, or Jigs players, or Sonic players. And like, hey, no shade, but that's not very friendly of you. That's not a fun matchup. So after doing all that, had a great time. If you are of drinking age, just know the spot to be at the end of every night is always Dos Amigos. Get yourself a nice margarita, hang out with your friends. It's cool. Very good singers this year. For SmashCon karaoke. Unfortunately, we did start late, and we also ran super late, which was like a good thing, but not a good thing. So next year, I'm asking for Thursday. I want Thursday instead. I think Thursday is a better day for karaoke. It's like right after we do like the combo contest. Decent amount of people are there. They could probably move the reveal of top 10 to like be within the Smashies. I feel like the top 10, no one's staying around for that. Unfortunately, I think that's like a waste of programming. So instead, give me Friday or give me Thursday. They can jam on Friday or Saturday or whatever. And then maybe Coney can have all of Saturday and do it on the big stage as the finals or something. But either way, yeah, I guess that was all my SmashCon. I always enjoy Supernova. Sorry, I always enjoy going to Supernova. It's my time to go back home, because if you guys know that I am from MDVA, as far as like where I grew up and like where I became like a much better commentator. I live in Austin now, but for most of my like Smash career, I was in MDVA, and that was the most active I was in MDVA. So it's always nice to go back and see some of the boys that I grew up with. Outside of that, yeah, I'm happy that I was able to go to Supernova yet again and also still provide top level commentary. That's been I didn't do Supernova. I didn't do SmashCon 1 top 8 because the behind the scenes reason is because wife did not put me on there because they didn't know shit about the game at the time and didn't know that I was. So I was like, whatever, sure, fine. But after that, obviously, it's been me, EE, and Coney for like every Supernova since. let's talk about some of the stuff that happened there that was like kind of major. I'm actually gonna go in the reverse order. I know most people are waiting for the Onin talk, but I'm gonna put the Scabs versus Fabs talk in front of that because I feel like that actually precedes the event, right? First things first, let's talk about what Fab said. So Fab says, now that Supernova is over, I want to bring this tweet back because I'm honest. If honest, I'm tired of the disrespect. Again, no names need to be mentioned, but this is the second time in a row that Supernova has contacted me less than 2 weeks before the event to discuss being hired. Now, keep in mind, Scabs or Fabs lives in the UK or like in Europe, right? So contacting somebody for an international flight 2 weeks before the event is like a no-go. Contacting anybody, honestly, for 2 weeks before the event should just be a no-go, unless I can drive to it, I guess. But for me to take an international flight to your event with 2 weeks of notice is just not going to happen, right? No names mentioned, right? Okay, if people don't remember last year was the first year I was hired for Ult as well as for Rivals for Supernova, which is really cool. It almost didn't happen because even though the application forms went out months before, I was only contacted 1 week before the event. As someone who lives in the EU, and since they originally weren't covering my flight, this means they expect me to buy a flight 1 week before the event, EU to a non-popular NA airport in the summer, LOL. Now, of course, one could argue things such as you should be planning to go to the event regardless. You should have sorted that out a while back. Unfortunately, for the employed niggas, we have to take time off work since we are being paid. So it's not really that simple. Anyways, after raising hell, the huge issue was sorted-ish, and I was able to come. I went further and contacted the main guy for this event, who literally said the shortest timelines due to Nintendo just made everything so squeezed, but assured me it wouldn't happen again. Well, let's fast forward to this year, where it did happen again. But the only difference is they supposedly didn't have the budget to help me out, so I couldn't go. Bear in mind, I've got people telling me in late June that they're confirmed for Supernova. So I have to ask, why the fuck am I having to wait so long just to get hit with this budget BS? And again, I don't know who's to blame, because I don't know who has the final say, but I'm being mega disrespected, and something's got to be done. I would never hold anything against another caster. I was even super excited to see fellow caster Nutroast or EU caster Nutroast get hired, and I'm not mad that I didn't get picked, even though missing out on the biggest Rivals event so far sounds super troll to me, not trying to boast. I don't even know if I'm mad as I type this. I'm just confused and feel disrespected. Please stop giving me false hope. Please stop waiting till the last minute. I don't get how events at this level are this unprofessional. I'm genuinely confused. The worst thing is I wasn't even the only caster to experience it. If I recall, without naming names, 5 of the casters didn't get denied until around early August. Why are premieres events sending denials a week before the event? Can someone explain? There are a lot of casters issues that need to be addressed, and even as I type, I can name 4 different tournament series that have left it till last minute or leaving it until last minute to contact casters even now. But I feel like with a new game coming soon, along with the new wave of casters, it would be nice to see a change of some sort. It's just childish at this point. I could talk about a billion different issues casters face, but I'm not trying to sound whiny. I just want change. Finally, if you want to know why I tweeted this instead of DMing anyone involved, is because when I do get ignored for a month, and it made me look like some batshit crazy ex-partner insanity. End of thread, but TLDR, stop contacting and commentators last minute and just send a denial acceptance so we can just plan. So that's all. That was all said by him, right? And then Scabs comes back, and Scabs is like, I'm sorry to hear you're unhappy, and you do bring up some points I want to address. You're right that some people were hired before you. Supernova has a group of casters that have worked the event since inception. They've done a ton for us for free, from advertising to organizing to producing content. Have you done anything for Supernova to warrant similar treatment? I am definitely one of those casters. I for the first 2 Supernovas, I think I did not get paid, but I definitely did a lot to like promote it. And I also now run a whole nother event at Supernova that has nothing to do with casting, right? So like I definitely do extra work. I've been there since inception, and yeah, so like I'm definitely one of those casters that kind of reach out early too. But sometimes like I have to reach out and make shit happen too. Like for instance, I didn't know we were doing karaoke this year. I just assumed we were doing karaoke this year, but I didn't know I was doing karaoke until like 2 weeks before the event. Yeah, I mean, some stuff falls through the cracks. I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons why that goes on, but like it still doesn't mean that we can excuse it all the time, and we should be holding these people to accountable, right? Right. So on the budget issue last year, I fought for more money to get you on the roster. I offered what I could. You agreed, and during the event, you decided you wanted more. I know Supernova doesn't pay as much as other events, but negotiating that way makes it tough to trust you. I will say Supernova is definitely on the better side of paying for events, at least for my in my opinion. But I'm sure it's probably different as one of the more up and coming casters, I guess. So this year I didn't believe I could afford what you got after your raise last year. I didn't believe I could afford what you got after your raise last year, and told you as much on 8/7. You're right that I should have been more explicit, but I figured saying barring a bump to my budget, I don't think I'll be able to bring you out was clear enough. 8/7 is pretty late. It's 8/12. So like, is that not like the day before? Is that not like the day before? That shit is crazy. Let's like, if it was 7/7 is day 0, yeah, that's actually kind of insane. But you know, anyway, on denial letters, I take full responsibility. There's 90% of applicants should have received a response on July 20th, which I think is like a reasonable time, right? Which I also agree is too late. But my sheet had a filter for people on my short list, and they were excluded from this original mailing until you reached out. Finally, on the matter of respect, you got Supernova last year because I went to bat for you after you insulted our head TO for no reason and started a fight online. Multiple members of our region got harassed for defending a man who put hundreds of hours into making our scene better. This is about Raffle. I put an effort of playing Peacemaker. You repaid me by asking for more cash and then trashing the event online after you got paid. You had full access to our leadership team last year and had every opportunity to make the event better, but decided to lash out instead. I apologize that I couldn't be more responsive this year. I take full responsibility for my role and how the event turned out. I also find it hypocritical for you to demand respect without taking any responsibility how you regularly treat people on person and online. And then Fab says, I'll be real, I don't think my thread last year trashed the event at all. I even praised the team. The thread addresses things I mentioned, but your explanation seems pretty disingenuous. So then he writes this because he couldn't tweet longer. It also seems, judging from this tweet alone, that you're pretty upset from my tweet tonight. I've said multiple times I'm not angry at nobody in particular, just more so upset about my situation but talking about how I treat others is quite wild since I have a whole heap of casters contact me today to talk about you. I've defended you a lot to other casters, other community members who to this slate your name for things in past and even chose both last year, this year, not to name drop, but if you're this upset, I'm down to speak at an event. He says, also side note, but I'm talking about how I treat others is super funny when you yourself have laughed at my instigation. But regardless, the joke I made at Raffle Flock ages ago was harmless, and we even shook hands from that. I feel like you're being upset and just trying to spin something else. So that's kind of like where it ended so far. That's some heat. That's some heat that's coming up, right? So this is my take on it. All I'm saying is that I think both sides definitely have something to for their own argument. But if I had to agree with anybody a little more, it's probably going to be Fabs. And that's not even just before I preface this, I do love Scabs. That's my guy, right? But I am on the shorter list of casters that gets to get contacted pretty early for Supernova, obviously. And so I won't deal with what the other casters have to deal with. But I know it sucks to get contacted super late because I have also had been contacted super late for big events that I'm like, damn, I'm only going if I'm getting hired. And if I'm not getting hired, I would like to know sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Evo's definitely one of them. I feel like I didn't find out I wasn't hired for Evo until 2 weeks before the event, but I'd already worked some stuff out. I think it's definitely, to be fair to Scabs, it's definitely not always his fault. He's at the mercy of the other people. He is not the person who gets to hire everybody off of he doesn't have access to the budget until the budget's fixed. He doesn't have access to who can be commentate or who can be hired until that's sent down to him. So it's a trickle down effect that the Supernova higher ups are making it hard for Scabs to do his job effectively because they're not getting to him fast enough, right? So I don't want to ever put all the blame on Scabs because it's definitely not on him. And I know that there's just a lot of stuff that happens with Scabs in general, or not Scabs in general, but with that tournament in general, because they're just late on a lot of things. For instance, Coney Fest ran super late because the first game was Mario Kart, and we didn't know that we couldn't do the wireless play because of all the interference around there. However, that's been a thing within these events forever. Mostly Bluetooth wireless play that's messing up. But if you're trying to get 10 systems of wireless play to be going with all the fucking waves going on in that room, I think that's something that should have been known and should have been started to be planning for a little earlier than that, right? Also, it just feels like a lot of times, some of the stuff on the event stage or the creative stage is kind of just thrown together, but that's not anything that I feel like is anyone's fault. It just does feel like it's kind of thrown together, and we're flying by the seat of our pants. There needs to be a little more organization is all I'm saying. Is what I'm saying. And that starts from well above Scabs. So I'm not blaming Scabs at all, right? A lot of things. I'm sure there's other things that like I don't even know about that like have kind of fallen by the wayside. I actually just talking to one of my old friend TOs who said he stopped working the event because he felt like it was really unorganized. And this is not a slight at Justin either, because I love Justin. That's my goat. Like obviously we've been boys for 10 straight years, probably even longer than that. But he hires me effectively. It lets me do what I would like to do. With the main stage, he lets me like kind of connect the community in a different way that has nothing to do with Smash, and I very much appreciate that. But like we do need to do better for next year, because this is like one of those problems that you can only get away with so many times before people start complaining for real. I feel like as of right now, the only tournament that is consistently making more waves that I always have praise for is Genesis, but I never feel like Genesis is going down, and like that's at the 10-year mark, we should be doing that. Like we should be at least coasting off a very, very high prestige if we're not going to keep going up. There's some other tournaments that I feel like have been going down at the 10-year mark, or they just don't even exist anymore. But yeah, bottom line, I think Fabs is making a great point. We do need to hire casters faster. We do need to hire everybody faster. People should be knowing that they're going to that event at least 2 months in advance. I'm very surprised Fabs didn't make it. I'm very surprised Nurse didn't make it. I'm less surprised Nurse didn't make it because Nurse lives like in bumfuck Canada, and she needs to take like 4 flights to get anywhere, and that's just a lot of money, right? But I am very surprised that that Fabs didn't make it. So who does that fall on to fix the question? Whoever the most highest up official is. Most of it's probably going to fall on Justin, and I think Justin maybe needs to hire some assistants. Or something like that, because one man can't do all this. We are old now. We definitely. I said the same thing when we were younger, like me and Gimmer, and stuff were younger. Gimmer ran like all of VG by himself. Like he did all the uploads, he did all the streams, all of that, right, bro? You're gonna burn yourself out. That's a lot of VODs, right? So yeah, I just think he needs a bigger team. You got to start delegating to people that you trust if he's not already delegating. And if you are delegating, those people aren't getting it done fast enough, you need to put fire to their ass, bro. Because like if you're delegating and then you got to recheck on that person and they're still not doing it, you gotta put some fire on that ass, bro. So anyway, that was the first thing we're going to talk about. Second thing we're going to obviously talk about is the Onin situation. Here we go. So here's the clip of what happened here. All right. So this is the end of Onin versus Jazzo, which, by the way, regardless if you fucking hate Steve or not, this was a solid set. That was a good up tilt. That was actually a godlike up tilt. It's just sad to see, bro. Now listen, before we go further than this, I would like to preface that, like, I've obviously tweeted about this, but apparently I feel like a lot of people just didn't see the second half of this tweet. Now, what I was trying to say was, like, I will say everyone's like booing is normal in sports, right? But when I'm talking about sports, I'm talking about the high, because I hate when people make this comparison. There's better comparisons you can make. This all I was saying. This is a stupid comparison. But if you're like LeBron get booed, oh, Steph Curry get booed. Do you know the amount of resources that you have to deal with that shit, and how different it is when you're walking back to the locker room when you don't have to deal with the shit versus walking past a bunch of people who are in the same room who spent the same amount of money to get into that same room with you, somebody that you could have played in tournament? That is a totally different thing. You know that. Like, you will never have a chance to play that guy. You know what I mean? Unless you're like on part of a Make-A-Wish Foundation or some shit. So because that was misconstrued, I was like, let me not misconstrue it again, just so I'm not misconstrued. My stance is I definitely understand it's going to happen. Booing is just part of competition, right? And there really isn't much that I think can be done to silence the crowd, and I don't feel like that should be done or should be. But I feel bad for the kid because, one, this is not the only time this happened. 2, this is not where it ends. And we know that. You all know that. Like, the Onin has showed us that they've got a lot of, they've had death threats or things just for playing silly little Blockman. I hate Blockman just as much as the rest of y'all, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate watching that character. But as a commentator, if I said that on stream, you would chastise me to the end of the earth. That's really rude. Why would you say that? It's the same shit y'all are saying, but now that I'm telling y'all like that, y'all shouldn't be. I'm holding y'all to the same principle. Now it's like, well, actually, it's part of the game. Like, they should man up. Like, it is just, like, obviously, Onin just a little bitch, and they should man up. I think you are losing a little bit of the humanity that you have in you, if that's your takeaway from this. Yeah. Could Onin have thicker skin? For sure. That would be great. Could they play into it, become a heel? That's also great. But currently they don't. I think that's probably the best thing they could have done. They don't even seem that mad about it, to be honest. But I'm just talking about from my point of view, I'm like disappointed in the actions that I saw that day. If Onin doesn't care no more, great for them. Great for them. Great for them, bro. So, but what I'm saying is right now, I feel like he or they are just like, all right, bro, I'm set. I've been here long enough. I've won enough things. These people don't fuck with me. LOL, fuck y'all. I'm just gonna go do my own thing. I'm only 19 years old. I still got a lot of life ahead of me, and that's also true. The other thing I like to say is I really wish people would stop equating 18 to adult. No, some people have had to grow up a little faster. If I can still call you a teenager, I'm not looking at you like an adult at all, right? That's just not what I'm doing. I will not be doing that, right? You are still in some very formative years. You just got out of high school. You may be going to college. You may have your little part-time job. Sick. It sucks. It's part of the game for sure. But there's no reason that I can't feel sympathy for somebody who may be dealing with more than I've ever had to deal with at 19, at the current age of 19 now, especially now that the internet is way more rude. Y'all were rude before, but you fuckers are just out for blood now, man. You know what I mean? So that shit is it's different. It's different these days, man. Everybody want to get their dunk in. Everybody want to try to get their hit tweet off. Everybody want to take everybody down and get their likes and whatnot. So all I'm saying is I don't like it. I'm not saying it needs to go away. I've never said that. Never, not once in any of these tweets, but I'm saying I feel sympathy for the kid Onin because I'm sure this is something they've been dealing with for quite some time. And the worst part about it is they can't swap off of this and do anything else because the one time that they swapped off with Steve and they played Robin and they got absolutely bodied, LOL, now you're just carried. You can't do nothing with Steve. Maybe you are carried by Steve, or maybe you are, like, whatever. But like, it's either you get booed for playing Steve or you get laughed at for not playing Steve and not doing as well. So like, where's the W? There's no W, bro. You'll never be like the people that or the person that is liked in the community at this point in time. So quitting, in my opinion, best case scenario in my opinion. Onin did beat DD with Rob. Oh, that was nice. Just don't play Steve meta. It's not gonna help. You're getting clowned one way or another. I literally just said that. You either play Steve, you get everyone's mad because you're carried, or you're playing the best character in the game who's obviously ruining the game, but that's not your fault. It's literally the developer's fault. Or you don't play Steve, you don't make the same results, and everybody says you suck and you're carried, blah, 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 and all this other good stuff. Instead of just being like, you know what, I'm glad he's not playing Steve, or I'm glad they're not playing Steve no more, basically. And that could be for any Steve player. I literally really wish that they would stop putting in that character at the end of the game that just ruins the game. This happens twice. This happens, I guess, technically 3 times, because Meta Knight really kind of ruined Brawl. But that was no DLC. Bayonetta ruined 4, and now Steve ruined Ultimate. Sucks, bro. But it's the hand that's dealt, and if you're good at playing Steve, good for you. I can't play that fucking character. I tried for like weeks, and I was like, bro, I just don't have that block. I just don't have that block mindset, bro. Meta Knight never got banned, unfortunately. But all I'm saying is, bro, like, just have a little humanity, bro. I don't care if you're on the side of like, well, booing is normal. Sure, it sure is. It sure is. But I'm still going to be on the side of like, this kid has been going through a lot, and I don't like seeing the amount of stuff that this kid's going through for just playing the annoying block character, right? It doesn't sit right with me. You have no fans. People are telling you to off yourself over your character choice, and then you go in the venue and play the best that you can, and you're getting booed off the stage to the point where you don't want to play. Like, that was my whole point of what I was trying to say. It was not to say that, like, bro, this booing shit, y'all got to shut up as a crowd. Nope, y'all going to do what y'all want to do. There's too many people to silence. That's never going to happen. But you could try to have just a little bit of sympathy, understanding that this is not the only thing this person goes through. The fact that top Steves are absolute freaks at the characters like mad scientist level work. Yeah. I mean, I assume there's like a Discord where all with the 5 top best Steves, and they just trade tech all day, every day, bro. And they just trade tech all day, every day. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say about that. I mean, bottom line, I guess I had a great Supernova outside of that. Even my top 4 was sick. I do think that we should be hitting up people who are working the events for faster than 1 to 2 weeks out. That's just not okay. And like, hey, bro, let's just have a little humanity. Let's just have a little humanity, bro. We all paid the same amount of money to be in that same room. You have the chance to actually play that person. That is a person that you will walk by later in the venue with no security, no staff like that. Y'all are just 2 people in the venue. They just happen to be a person that plays a character that you don't like and probably plays better than you. Just have a little humanity, bro. Is it going to happen again? Probably. You know what I mean? Probably. But, just all I'm saying is have you a little humanity. So that's going to be it for this topic talk. If you have any thoughts, make sure you go ahead and leave your thoughts below. I'll read them. I'll like them. I'll comment to them. You can comment whatever you like. If you like the video, make sure you drop a like, follow, comment here as well. And then I'll get back to you on the next video, maybe, as we'll probably have more stuff to talk about because that's just what happens. Catch you on the next one. Peace.